Hey, AP Psychology, on to part the third little mini lesson on Unit 2A, the body and behavior. We've already covered the neuron. We covered neurotransmitters. We went over the nervous system, our speedy neurochemical, electrical chemical transmitter in the body. Now we're going to focus on the endocrine system, the slow but powerful part of our body that controls behavior, emotions, and all that stuff, okay? So the endocrine system is the body's slow chemical communication system. A set of glands that secretes hormones into the bloodstream. That's how you travel, all right? And this can affect all sorts of stuff, all right? You get mad, you get hungry, you name it. The endocrine system is in action, all right? It's slow, but it's powerful. All right, that's why when you get angry, it takes you a while to chill out. All right, or if you're in love, you have that powerful feeling going through your body. It can be overwhelming. All right, so hormones are chemical messages produced in one tissue that affect another tissue. We talked about the adrenal glands. Obviously, they secrete adrenaline, also known as epinephrine or norepinephrine, not adrenaline, to help arouse the body in times of stress. It jacks up your heart rate, your blood pressure, and blood sugar. The autonomic nervous system, lesson 2, controls that, okay? The pituitary gland is the master gland. It is the head, the chief of the glands. It's the most influential. It also produces growth hormone. This is active at night, especially when you're young. Your body, your pituitary pumps out this growth hormone. That's why at night you get that sleep. That's when you grow. All right. It controls all the other glands as well. The message it sends in the form of hormones triggers other glands. Again, you see here is a chart here. Hypothalamus, that's in your brain. It controls the pituitary. So the hypothalamus controls the pituitary, which controls all the rest of the glands. All right, so again, this is in your book. I'm not going to cover these details. You can see it, you can read it, you can study it. All right, adrenal cortex, steroids. Adrenal medulla, adrenaline, noradrenaline. The gonads, sexual hormones and reproduction, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Hypothalamus, neurosecretion, controls the pituitary, the master gland. Pancreas, insulin and glucagon. This regulates your metabolism. The pituitary throws out all these wonderful hormones here. Thyrotropin, oxytocin, this is the love hormone. Corticotrophin and prolactin. It controls all the other glands. The thyroid gland throws out thyroxine and calcitonin that affects metabolism. All right, so hormones, check those out. We're done with that. So I'm going to kind of blend into the first part of the brain here in behavior in this mini lesson 3. The brain. Brain, that beautiful thing you have up here in your head, it's so important to your behavior and mental processes. Sometimes we can study the brain by creating a lesion. A lesion is tissue destruction or alteration. It can be natural, it can be experimental, it can be in surgery, all right? But a lesion causes destruction or changing of brain tissue. All right, easiest way to read brain activity is the EEG, the electroencephalogram. Make sure you understand electrical activity. You got to say that in the AP test. They will not count it if you don't say electrical activity being measured in the brain. It shows up in these little charts here. All right, that's how you can read these brain waves, the alpha, delta, theta brain waves. A PET scan, the positron emission tomography. A visual display of brain activity detects where radioactive form of glucose goes when the brain performs a given test. Thing you gotta remember about PET scan is radioactive glucose is analyzed in this scan. And so while they're doing a test, they can see it glow, this radioactive glucose in the PET scan. Radioactive. That's why people who do this test, they wear a lead suit and they put the stuff in a lead box because it's radiation, man. All right, the MRI. You may have had this on your knee from an injury, something like that. Magnetic resonance imaging. Those magnets fire and they send the field through the tissues of your body, your brain, whatever, and they generate pictures. And distinguish them on types of soft tissue. It allows us to see structures within the brain. So that's the best way to image the brain. If you want to see a picture of it, use an MRI. If you want to see a picture of the brain while it's functioning, use an fMRI, a functional magnetic resonance imaging system. It reveals the brain function as well as its structure. So you ask someone a question with the fMRI, you can see it glowing in the picture, what's being used. Okay? And again, cool little brain video. Check that out. All right, the old brain. We're going to go from the old brain to the new brain. The old brain is the back of your brain here, the brain stem, the medulla. It handles the basic functions of survival and instincts right here. All right, basic instincts. Oh, sorry. All right, so it's the central core of the brain, beginning where the spinal cord swells as it enters the skull. It is responsible for automatic survival functions. Automatic. The medulla is located in the brainstem, controls heart beating, breathing. A blow to the medulla can knock you off. It can kill you. Old brain, reticular formation, a nerve network in the brainstem that plays an important role in controlling arousal. Those nerves get firing there, filtering in stimulus and relaying it to other parts of the brain so you could experience a sensation and react. Thalamus, it is a switchboard. You see this lady over here switching stuff around? This is the thalamus. It switches information. So the reticular formation directs the thalamus and sends that message where it needs to go. The cerebellum, the little brain. They call it this because it looks like a little brain attached to the back of your head. If you've got excellent balance, you have a developed cerebellum. Okay? The little brain attached to the rear of the brainstem helps coordinate voluntary movement and balance. So as you balance, your cerebellum is hard at work. Limbic system, emotions such as fear and aggression. When you are scared, this sucker's firing. It would glow on an fMRI. Also involved in food and sex drives. Very powerful. All right, well, hey, here's the thing here. These emotions, fear, aggression, food, and sex, all responsible for survival and procreation. Makes sense why it's powerful. It includes the hippocampus, the amygdala, and the hypothalamus. Remember, the hippocampus, which is this right here, this little twirly thing. Hippocampus is involved in memory. Hippos never forget. Remember that. Hippos never forget. So, just like elephants never forget, hippos never forget. The hippocampus and your limbic system helps you remember. The amygdala, meow, I put a cat here. Cats have well-developed amygdalas. That's why they don't trust anybody. All right? And they're if you ever watch cats, man, they're brutal when they fight. They are just mean. They like to fight, they like to hunt, and they like to run. Because fear and aggression is controlled in the amygdala. There's two little areas in the limbic system, the amygdala. There are two almond-shaped clusters of nerves that are linked to emotion of fear and aggression. Hypothalamus. Hypo means below. So guess where the hypothalamus is below? Below the thalamus. All right. Neurostructure below the thalamus directing eating, drinking, and body temperature. Also very important things in survival. Helps govern the endocrine system by communicating with the pituitary gland. I don't even know what this says right here. Wait, what's this right here? I can't even tell. Oh, let's check it out. All right, there's two parts of the hypothalamus, the lateral and the ventromedial. The lateral, hey, I'll be hungry later, man. It lets you know you're hungry. The lateral, later, you're late for dinner, you better eat. It lets you know you're hungry. In when lesions are placed on these, if it's overstimulating, you're always hungry. You just keep on eat. Kind of hungry right now. I got Chick-fil-A sandwich here. My hypothalamus is telling me, man, it's time to eat this sucker. All right? If it's understimulated, you're never hungry. You would dwindle away to nothing. The ventromedial hypothalamus lets you know you're full. This is why you eat and you're like, man, I'm full, man. If I eat another piece, I'm going to explode. That's your ventromedial. Tells you you're full. Overstimulation makes you feel like you're full always. Understimulation, you never feel full. These little dudes right here, this guy was stimulated here, overstimulated with lateral, and understimulated with the ventromedial. He later exploded in a small explosion. I'm just kidding. I don't know if he exploded or not, but it could happen because they were stimulating his lateral, so he's always hungry. And they were understimulating his ventromedial, so he never got full. Not a good combination. All right, the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex. All right, now we're moving up. This is the bumps and the weaves in your brain, integrated fabric of interconnected neural cells. It covers the cerebral hemispheres. This is the body's ultimate control and information processing center. This is what makes us smart. All right, makes us smart. Glial cells, they're not neurons, but they nourish and protect neurons in the brain. All right. 4 lobes real quick, and we'll wrap it up with there, and we'll end this little mini lesson 3 here. Frontal lobes, parietal lobes, occipital lobes, and temporal lobes. Frontal lobes, guess where they are? Well, they're in the front. All right, frontal lobe here is involved in speaking and muscle movements, planning and judgment. We have big frontal lobes as humans. Cats have little frontal lobes. All right? We speak a lot. We are smart. We plan and we judge. Sometimes we judge too much. The parietal lobe is involved in senses. All right? That's how we smell stuff. We sense stuff around us. The occipital lobes are way in the back here. This is the visual areas that receive information from the opposite visual field. Left eye, occipital lobe in the right part of your brain. Right eye, occipital lobe in the left part of your brain. And then finally, your temporal lobes. Your temples are here. Guess what they're closest to? Your ears. Your ears. Included in the auditory areas. Mini lesson 3 down and out. We'll wrap it up next time.